Hola Natalie, I hope you had a good first week of classes. In this video, I'll give you the assignments for this week and also show you how they need to be done. So the main thing that we're doing this week is for you to check how the students did the lockdown browser in the first quiz. So that's the main purpose of the first quiz really, is so they practice a lockdown browser. So a lot of them have a ton of issues. And what I'm going to have you do is, first step is to read super carefully the rules and regulations for exams, and this is in modules. It's in the second module. Here, I'll point it out real quick. Start here, introduction, and right here. Okay, so these are all the things that we're going to be looking for. So let me just kind of point some of them out that are important. So taking the exam in a well-lighted room. No sunglasses. Clearing up the desk from all the clutter. So particularly electronic devices we don't want to have there. No pets. That's not such a big deal. And let's see here. No pillows and such. Not such a big deal. I'm on number 7. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see my cursor on this screen reader. Not covering yourself with blankets. Those are kind of minor things, but go ahead and make a note of them anyway, because we'll let the students, we'll prompt them on every single little thing they did wrong and let them know for the next time we need to not see that, and hopefully that'll work. Let's see here. Now this one I want to point out in particular. So after opening the lockdown browser, number 1, if they use a UNT student ID, that's fine, but if they use a driver license or any photo ID, that's fine. So we're not going to be particular on that, and I'll change that later on in this course. Okay, they have to do an environment check, and for this, I need you to look at everybody, even the people who, we're going to look at every environment check, and I'll point this out in the lockdown browser in just a moment. So what you need to see is it's a 360-degree view, so we need to see what's on the side of the desks. Even people who are doing it correctly often aren't showing their lap, that is to say what's under the desk, so we need to see that too. Just, what's down below to make sure they're not hiding a book there or something like that, basically. Everything around the room. So if they didn't completely do that, just make a note of, what wasn't done, because that's going to be a common one. Let's see here. They can't reach out for things. And by the way, the system will flag them a lot of times, and I'll show you how that works. Now, when they're taking the quiz, they can't they can't have earphones in. They can't leave. And again, they're going to get flagged if they get up and leave. So we'll make a note of that. If they absolutely have to move and they do a second environment recording, that's allowed, but take a look at the second environment recording and make sure it's okay. In that case, we wouldn't make a note of it, but I don't think anybody did that, though some people did move. So they need to keep their eyes on the screen. So last semester, for instance, one girl I gave a 0.2. It was obviously looking to the side at another monitor, and you could tell that she had cut and pasted. So she was looking at a translator on the other side. No reaching around for things, and that is pretty much what we're looking for there. Let's open it up. So to do this, to get going with the assignment, you'll open up Lockdown Browser, continue to Lockdown Browser. Okay, we're looking at quiz number 1, syllabus and Canvas information. You're going to use the drop down and class results. Okay, so you can see these people at the top are high priority, and they've been flagged, and then you got some medium priorities, and then you have some low priorities, and they're probably okay, but we're going to take a look at everybody this time around and just get everybody doing things correctly. And let's see, what else do I want to say about that? Yeah, because if we get them trained on this, then later on for the rest of the exam, we won't really have to look at it so much. We'll just look at the people who are flagged. Okay, this first one is a doozy. This is really, I've only looked at a couple, but and I'll be emailing this student myself, but you can see she has all these issues. So the IDs there, we're going to start with the environment video. Just make sure they have an ID. So yeah, that's a driver's license, that's fine. Okay, the environment we got to check. Okay, first off, the room's not lighted, and you can't see it. It has to be 360 degrees. Okay, so that would be the first note. Now here's another flag. So we're checking all these flags, and this one is just.
We got 10 minutes. Hurry, Michelle.
Okay, and the other issue, she's got somebody in the room with them. Okay, so they have to be alone.
In general, I can't rather using which 2 browsers. Nah, bro. Michelle.
Okay, so the main flag there is
This
you
is
look around,
syllabus
you gotta be
shit.
alone.
Syllabus
So here's
shit.
another point. The video
You
was,
started
I'm
already?
not sure why it's not getting to it.
Hold on. Wait,
It looks like, well, the video was interrupted, and that's why it's not playing, so that would be another note. But
wait.
so these are all flags. You see these right here? This is what we're looking at here with these videos. Now, in this case, for whole face is not visible, so that'd be another note. Okay, eye's not on the screen. That's another note. Okay, so those are the two
Hey, we can
flags for
still
that
talk.
one.
I'm in my own apartment. I live my own life. It's not like I'm saying answers. This is syllabus shit. The fuck? What are they gonna do? Come and arrest me? How often we have discussions with your classmates as active participation? Wow, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm thinking it's about to be Spanish.
Okay, so it didn't say this on the rules and regulations, but definitely put down no profanity allowed because that is on the syllabus. So this particular student, most people are just going to get a warning, but she is going to get a 0 for this, and I'll let her know that if I hear that again, she's getting reported to the Dean of Students. So no profanity. Okay, we're probably going to be seeing some repeats, I think, of some of the issues. So you don't necessarily have to watch the whole thing. And this, by the way, you can see these red marks are flags.
Chrome. Fire.
So I think we've probably gotten the main violations for this one, and that's, I mean, enough of a list.
How often will you have discussions with your classmates?
Okay, so just a list of everything. Let's look at another one that's not quite as egregious. And so we're going to want to check out, like I mentioned, all the environmental checks. So yeah, you don't have to look at all this stuff. You're just looking, we're going to look at the environment video for everybody because that's kind of the main one. The rest of this stuff will get flagged generally. Okay, I think that was it. I might have to see it again, but yeah, for this one I would say make sure to get the entire room in the environment that it's got to be 360 degrees. It looks like you didn't quite get everything, and it's blurry too. I'm not going to worry about that so much as long as I'm seeing, because I think it's just that he was moving his computer around. Let's try another one. Okay, and some of them don't have any submissions, so you don't need to worry about those guys. Okay, so again, we're just looking at the environment.
Okay. Got this, my ID, and I'm just in a chair. I guess I'll kind of pan down a bit. Nothing on the, yeah.
Pretty good. It looks like she didn't get it quite to the left, but I think I would probably let that one go, and she didn't get any flags. Okay, good. Now I was waiting to get to one I liked, and this one was just fine. So we're looking for that. If it doesn't look something like that, just make a note of it. A lot of them are going to get, just a brief note, and it's not a big deal. I mean, it's not going to affect their score, but we just want to make sure that everybody's doing it just like this student. Okay, so that's how that works. And these guys at the top, are they're gonna have some issues. So make sure you get a full list of what they did wrong, and I'll be email. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is do that on a Word doc and then send it to me. I'm going to check over everything, and at that point I'll either have you send out the emails or I'll take care of it myself. It's definitely the case of some students like this one at the top. I'll do that myself. So that's that assignment, and that's going to be for both 1010 and also span 1030. Okay, so 2 classes worth on that, and that's really the main assignment for this week, is to just check everybody's environment checks, and then also the flagged people to see get a list of what all they did. But we don't have to watch all of the videos, so I want to be really clear about that because that would take forever. Okay, so we're just jumping around like I just did. And I mean, once you've got, particularly if you're seeing repetition, I mean, you don't need to check. Just briefly run through the flags, and I mean, if their face is still not there, it's just you don't have to make a separate note of it. Just note it one time. Okay, I have one other little thing going on. So I made you the TA in 3002 as well. I'm going to be doing most of the grading for that, most all the grading. It's an advanced course for native speakers, and it's a lot of conversations and that kind of thing. But I might occasionally have to help out with the quizzes and maybe some of the assignments. So for this one, if you want to just send them a quick email, kind of like you did before, but on this one, you're just saying I'll be helping out with some assignments and quizzes, and you can just put it like that. So in this case, it's quiz number 1. And there's just 2 questions where I want to be able to give partial credit to them. So to grade this, you're going to go to SpeedGrader. Okay, and questions 5 and questions 11 are the ones we're looking at. Okay, so on question 5, if they have an accent missing, you're going to give them a half point back. Okay, so let's say they had preservaran on this one, and they forgot the accent. Just as an example, we give them a half point back for that. So if they have the correct form, and this one should be, ¿Tú crees que la compañía será tan irresponsable? So that one would be será. Okay, so let's say they were missing the accent on that. Give them a half point. Okay, so if somebody were missing 2 accents on this, but otherwise the forms are correct, they get a full point back. The other one we're looking at is the bottom. I made this a little ambiguous. I didn't state what tense it should be in. So what I have down for answer is se elige, and also with whether it's capitalized or what. So if anybody has any punctuation like that I did include, giving them point back. Basically, look at it as a half point. So a half point for say, and then a half point for any correct verb tense. Okay, so that could be present, future, preterite, whatever. I'm going to give full credit for that. So for this person, they're going to get a half a point, 0.5, right? Because they have elegí, but they left out say. Okay, so once again, that's any form of say plus, any verb form in any tense that's correct. They do have to be letter for letter when it comes to verb conjugations. And one person I know added no, and that's fine too. So he actually had the correct answer. So if they have no in there, that's fine too. If it looks like they should get, partial credit for it, go ahead and do it. And then just update the scores. You don't need to leave a note or anything like that because I'm going to let them know via an announcement today that you'll be looking at it, and the points will come back sometime this week. Okay, as long as you still have time, there's one other little thing I wanted to point out here on MindTap. So there's some manual graded assignments, and let me show you how we get there. Now, I let Cengage know to add you to my courses and give you access, and they said they did it. So if you can't, and I looked and you're there, so you should be able to access MindTap and grade it for me. But if you're not able to, just let me know, and I'll give the representative an email. Okay, so we go to Modules. MindTap. Okay, to grade, we go over here to Progress. Okay, and we're just looking for the manual grading assignments. Okay, now we don't have to grade all of them. And you can see a lot of these just don't really have many submissions at all. What happened is, and here we have one with almost 85%, and that's one we want to grade. Even this one, I'm fairly sure is not something I assigned. Though you can check it on the, you can either check it in the assignment list at MindTap, or you can check it on the syllabus to make sure. But what these are they're not assigned for credit, and they're just practice. But apparently, they are manually graded, so it still goes to our manually graded list, and they're going to hang out there all semester. And we're going to have to just weed around them. So anyways, it's just the big ones. And pronunciation for this particular class, this is 1010. This is the only one you're going to look at. So you'll click on Grade Now. And then you just go through the submissions. Okay, so you don't need to listen to the whole thing, but let's just listen to make sure they actually did something and it's not blank or gibberish or whatever. And I guess they start over here.
Ana.
Now, wait a minute. What they're doing is that's the track they listen to. So we are going to listen to this.
A. Ana. Andrés. B. Bárbara. Boris. C.
Okay, so they didn't do it. So it's just, let's see if they did it on this one.
A, B, C, D, E, F.
Okay, I see what's going on now. Actually, this is the same thing as this. Apparently, they put it there twice. So this isn't for the student. This is the one they listened to. So actually, he did do it. Okay, so we're going to give him full credit. And you don't have to listen to the whole thing. We're just going to make sure that they actually attempted it, because a lot of times people, they'll leave it blank, or they won't say anything. They'll do gibberish or whatever. Those people we just want to give a 0 to and let them know. So you got to click Edit Score. I'm going to give him 16. Save. Now, if you want to add a comment, like let's say they did do gibberish or whatever it sounded like, just let them know. Say it 0 for incomplete assignment, or incorrectly. I would put that as 0 credit for an incorrectly completed assignment. Okay, we're gonna, and you can also record this as audio comments, by the way. Okay, let's look at one more.
A, B, C, D, E, F.
Beautiful. So the thing is, we won't do this every time, but in the beginning it is important so that you can make sure, get the people who are cheating. And then the people who do that, those are the ones we'll look at the next time around. Okay, so 1030 has the same thing. They actually have, I believe it's just one pronunciation activity to look at. Let me make sure so I can let you know. But the other ones, actually, I think they had it. No, they didn't. But if it's a written assignment or whatever, I won't have you grade those, mainly just the pronunciation. And if we run out of time, by the way, or if you run out of time, you can always do what's called, it's called a batch action, and I'll point that out here. Actually, okay, so we go to progress, to do grading. Click on this. So again, they're going to have these ones were actually completed for a grade. So we'll look at that. And by the way, if everything looks good on the first pronunciation, so let's say nobody had any issues, nobody at all. Now, if somebody did have an issue, look at them again. I mean, make your notes here, go through everything. And then maybe for this one, just like, let's say 3 students recorded gibberish. Check those 3 students here, and for the rest of them, you can probably just give them full credit. Now, let's say by the third one, we've got everybody doing what they're supposed to do. In that case, it would be fine, I think, not every time, but at least some of the time, particularly if you run out of time and can't do the grading, to just hit select all students, and then the people who did not do anything, we will deselect. Anyway, when you have them all deselected, then you can hit assign full credit. Okay, so that's a way to, and actually it's what we'll do for a number of these manually graded assignments. It's not necessary to grade everything. I'll let you know which ones I want you to take a look at. So for this week, let's do this one, and this one, provided you have enough time for that. Listen to everybody on this one. For these 2, just listen to the people who maybe had issues. Okay, and if nobody had issues, by the second one, well, it's kind of, I guess we haven't given any feedback, but yeah, just the problematic students, listen to them, and then for the next round, hopefully we have everybody trained for that one. Okay, that's everything for this week. Please let me know if you have any questions, and or if you run into any time constraints or anything like that. And if you have any extra time, please just kind of think about what you're going to be doing for the Tertulia for next week. And I hope that's going well for you. Adios.